A couple of weeks ago, when it was announced that Brie Larson is going to be hosting the Video Gaming Awards, almost universally on gaming forums, people didn't like this decision. And I took a step back to try and figure out why this is. Because the simple answer, if you ask the people on Reset Era, it would be that it's misogyny. But if you were to ask people from everywhere else, they would say, well, it's because Brie Larson is a controversial figure and they don't really appreciate the marketing that Captain Marvel had. But I think the answer is a lot more complicated and it goes much deeper than that. While Brie Larson is a gamer, and I have seen her play Beat Saber on one of these comedy shows, I think the main issue is that when you think about gaming, you do not think about Brie Larson. When you think about Hollywood, you can think about Brie Larson. But when you think about gaming, you rather think about PewDiePie, or Angry Joe, or Ninja, or any of the other popular streamers. When you think about gaming, you think about toxicity. Recently, one of the HoloTubers, the anime Toxic Girls, was teaching her friend on how to teabag in a video game. And I think that's more representative of the gaming community than whatever corporations try to push on people. Because the Video Gaming Awards is more like a commercial stunt nowadays. It's just corporations talking to each other and shaking their hands, congratulating each other on being excellent humans, while showing a lot of disdain and disgust towards their consumers. And I think this is where the root of the problem is. I think that the main issue is that no other industry in the world hates its own consumer base as much as the video gaming companies do. Well, maybe the prison industrial complex hates its clientele. Or actually, the death camps in World War II hated their clientele more than the video gaming industry hates its clientele. So I guess it would be a number three. But all jokes aside, and that is if we're allowed to still make jokes on this platform, is the fact that on Twitter, the people who loved the event were saying that the best thing is that it made gamers angry. And that is pretty much the state of the gaming entertainment right now. It's how can we make our customers angry? It's a very similar thing that you see happening with the comic book industry. How can we make our readers angry? How can we upset people? It's very bizarre when you look at it. No other industry thinks like that. I mean, the car manufacturers doesn't think like, how can we make our drivers more upset? How can we make them more angry? The refrigerator company doesn't think like that. It's just like the gaming industry, which has entered this bizarro world of treating the consumer as a necessary evil. And it's despicable because the consumer helped these people get to where they are. We actually pay for them to put food on the table. We pay for all the luxuries that these people have, and this is how they treat us. This is how they think about us. It's almost like growing up in a rural village filled with poverty and having your parents struggle really hard in order to get you to a good place in a university. And as you go to the university campus and you befriend all the correct people and you get all the good acquaintances and you move up in the world, when your parents decide to visit, you're ashamed of them. You're ashamed of them because they're not as civilized as all the other people on the campus. They're rural people. They're simple people. They don't know how to hold a fork properly. They don't know how to spark a conversation without offending. And that's what the gaming industry is right now. The consumer are those parents that paid for it and helped it grow. And now it moved up in the world. Now it's trying to impress journalists and it's trying to impress academia and it's trying to get movie deals and they don't really have the time for gamers. And this is why gamers hate video gaming awards. And the biggest slap in the face, I guess, would be with The Last of Us 2, which, as far as I can tell, is a mediocre game. And this is not my opinion. I also watched many streamers, some streamers being left-leaning, like Angry Joe. Other streamings being non-political, like PewDiePie. I have played it and streamed it, and I have found a lot of faults with it. And other people found many faults with it, which aren't necessarily connected to the story. Certain faults being the fact that the game constantly autosave, so you can find a very difficult encounter, but as long as you manage to kill one or two enemies every now and then, like, the game just pushes you forward. It's very difficult to fail within that game. Certain elements of the story don't make sense, and if you watch my Let's Play, you know that there are a plethora of wrong things regarding that game. And yet, the game manages to get several awards, including Game of the Year award. So this game apparently is better than Doom, is better than Ghost of Tsushima, it's better than all the other games that came out, and yet people don't seem to consider it a 10 out of 10 game. I haven't seen a single streamer that legitimately thinks this is the Game of the Year. But the reason it's the Game of the Year, it's exactly to make gamers angry. I mean, even Neil Druckmann, the creator of this game, has said that this is the goal, is to make people angry. And this is a marketing that the gaming industry does over and over and over again. They bring out the mediocre product, and then they say that this product is going to make life better for minorities or LGBT people, as if some person that lives in abject poverty in a trailer has his life improved now because The Last of Us is being marketed. And they assume that, no, everyone thinks it's a great game. Like, this is now common knowledge. The Last of Us is the best game on earth, and everyone also knows this. And the only reason someone would suggest that Ghost of Tsushima is a better game than The Last of Us is because they are homophobic. And this is the marketing that they're pushing on people. And if you disagree, you're a bad person. And if you aren't into video games, you should buy the game anyway, because that's how you upset bad people. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. This type of insulting the consumer base in order to sell a product is a very despicable tactic that unfortunately is being done over and over again. And that's why The Last of Us 2 is a good game. It's because it upsets the consumer. It upsets the people that give money. And to add insult to injury, this creator, Neil Druckmann, which claims to be a feminist, claims to want more women in gaming, built his career upon tearing down one of the most favorite and most beloved women in video games, Amy Hennig. Like, she used to work at the company. She created games like Soul Reaver. She created games like Uncharted and many other. And Neil Druckmann got rid of her so that he can take her place. And this is a man that talks about getting women into gaming. So it doesn't really matter about the actions that these corporate hacks are doing. It doesn't really matter on how they move around and what they do. It all matters about how they talk and if they say the correct things, even though they don't mean it. And if you pretend that you know they don't mean it, you're a bad person. So all in all, I think this is the main reason why gamers do not like the Video Game Awards. Why it has become from something that should actually reward good games and talk about the gaming community, and to basically what appears to be just a commercial slot. That is how I would sum up the Video Game Awards. They got the Dorito Pope out from his coffin. He didn't seem happy to be there. He didn't seem excited to be there. And it was just to sell you trailers and to sell you products. That's it. And the sad thing is that I remember when the Gaming Awards started, everyone there was enthusiastic. Like, you would look at the crowd was really happy to be there. They were excited that they're sharing in their hobby and the activity they love. And now when you looked at the crowd, it was low energy. It was the type of crowd you would see at the late night TV show where, you know, the clap or the applause turns on and then they're clapping and they're applauding because they're told to. That's what it has been developing into. Something that's incredibly fake, something that's very sanitized, very corporate, and on top of that, with a lot of disdain for their viewers. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please do share this video around if you consider that it brought something to the table, and thank you for watching.